Hey guys, what's going on? Kikoki coming back with another episode of Satisfactory number 11. We can do that up to about 15, and then I'm going to have to start popping it up on a screen. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic time. Sorry for the delay in the latest episode. I've just been kind of busy doing other things. However, we're back with another one that should be out today, hopefully the same day as recording this, because I feel bad, and I want to keep being continuous at least every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is kind of my goal here. So not much has changed on the map other than what you're seeing in front of you right now. I'm just going to make sure that everything is running because I did about 7 minutes recording and realized my microphone was muted. So now it's not. However, I'm going to briefly go through what I talked about being muted for about 7 minutes. So we have a couple factories being made at this moment. I kind of moved everything around. This one right here is the quick wire. We took it from way over there from the southwest and brought it right to us. We've got 6 containers ready to be full. We've got 3 constructors going through. It's fantastic. It's running. It's perfect. This is overflow surplus and also will be used at some point for other recipes if it needs it. I'm going to do the big factory last. This one is a smirk plating, so we moved it from way over here. I think it was on that side right there, which I gotta deal with those poles, but that's fine. But yeah, no, we moved the smart plating. So essentially what I did is, I'm addicted to using catwalks, by the way. I think this is the coolest thing ever in this game. Just being able to do this. It makes just moving around so much easier. However, the main point of this one is we're making smart plating. I believe we have 2 constructors going simultaneously off of one node as well. Most of these factories are running off one pure node so far, and I can probably even stress that out a little bit more to do more off one node rather than just having everything going. So big factory is last. Everybody knows what it is anyway because I've talked about it in the past and showed it. This one is upper sheets. It's not up and running yet. I literally just designed it earlier today. It's going to be running off of 7 smelteries into 7 constructors, pumping everything vertically, which, because that's what I'm trying to do in this series, is kind of put everything in a vertical situation rather than doing everything horizontal, kind of build up, so to speak. But yeah, this will take forever to fill, probably, I'm hoping. But yeah, no, that's all that has changed here other than the catwalks of, like, chaos is what I'm going to call them because they go everywhere. Literally. The only thing that has changed with the modular frames, which is in this factory, is the fact that they're no longer going into single storage containers. They are going way over here, being guided on the ceiling. I think this one's the closest one to being full. We still have 3 left, and if we run out of room, we'll make more. Once again, this is just a surplus, but if we need it for any other future recipes, it is there. I deconstructed that one over there because it literally served no point. And I'm actually kind of sad because I realized this last night when I was playing this. The modular frames that we had built over here, remember how it was going perfectly? There was 2 going along the conveyor belt. Every time it went into the assembler, it was just perfect timing. Didn't matter. It was just running flawlessly. It's one of those situations where I said, always build your end product as close to the other parts as possible, so that way there's no lag. Well, we don't ever have to worry about that again. I left my computer on running one night with Satisfactory going because I was just tired. Didn't want to get up. So this is the cause of this. And then eventually this actually backed up and filled. I put a bunch of these into the awesome sink in order to get some tickets. But yeah, there's no longer ever going to be a chance of lag on this one ever again. So we can probably tear all this down and bring that closer, or bring this closer over to here. So that made me sad. The one thing we had perfectly running that was just not planned, it just happened that way. However, the next thing I'm going to put into a factory probably is, I think I'm going to make it into an L, because I'm trying to kind of keep it in a zone area, I guess, because right here, like this is going to be roadway. This is going to be for any tractors or trucks or anything driving around. So what I might try and do is take from there and wrap it around as wide as we need to do probably either smart plating, or not smart plating, reinforced plating in the rotors or the automated wire. Because technically we don't even need coal anymore for the automated wire. We can make everything through 100% iron, since we have that pipe recipe for iron pipes. So we can actually get rid of this, which I probably will do. I do feel kind of bad I'm doing factory designs off camera, but it's one of those things where it's taking me hours and hours because I need to, like, you know, space it out perfectly, make sure the conveyor belts are going, play around with it. I might do one on camera just to kind of showcase what I'm doing. It'll be probably a smaller one, maybe even, I have no idea. We'll take what we have over here. That's just being built with pipes, plates, wire, cable, and something else is over there, I can't remember. We need to bring concrete to us as well, because I'm tired of running for it. But the main thing of the episode, what we're going to be doing this time, we're not building anything. We do have to worry about, you know, completing phase 3 and getting those modular engines and adaptive control units, I believe. However, that means more parts being made. We should actually take a look at the circuit boards over here that we started in episode 10. So bear with me, I'm going to run over there, we're going to check that, and then we're going to start building around the map on a platform so that way we can get a train going, and we're going to visit every other biome. So bear with me. So remember that thing we talked about a couple episodes ago about things bottlenecking and stopping? Well, I completely forgot I had fuel being made and production going. Well, everything's paused. Thankfully, however, the consumption is still the same, but capacity is still 2,500, which is good. Everything's bottlenecked to hell. The plastic and the rubber are completely done. The circuit boards are completely full. The residue is, oh, it's not even full, actually. It's still going somehow, but it's not going anywhere because, yeah. That's shut down. Everything's shut down. So we're going to deal with that real quick. So we're going to double. I can't really double on this side. So we're just going to, oh, I can't do anything. I have no. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I just did something I'm not very proud of, but it had to be done. I completely deleted 2 of these so I can make room for more, because unfortunately I don't have any steel beams. I have the pipes, but I don't have beams, so I couldn't make any more, and I wasn't going to make the smaller ones just because it's just a waste of resources and space, and then I have to use lifters, and it's just not fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit here for a second and make sure that everything's running properly. So the circuit board should be fine for now, because it shouldn't bottleneck too much. However, everything else I want to make sure is going properly. This is now pumping those out again. That's fine. So that's got fuel. Very little. I just find it funny how I did not run out of power. Out of all chances, that's so strange. So I guess I only dropped it to like 200. Once this one gets powered again, which maybe might take a bit. Literally only has 0.1. I just gotta make sure nothing else is bottlenecked really. So we're just waiting on residue. Make this. Let's see how close that's gonna get. Okay, so everything's gonna be bottlenecked for now. However, there's no real danger of letting anything kind of freeze up again. So I'm gonna go back and dump all my stuff off, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go grab it again. Okay, so we came all the way to the elevator. I'm not sure how far we're gonna be able to go straight, so we're gonna attempt it and just see how far we can go, because I'm curious. Because this is normally what I do, is I just round the entire map, and it's long. However, when you keep everything at a static height and keep everything level and the same, makes for trains to be run a lot easier, which is fantastic. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up going into the ocean here. I don't know where the map stops, because normally I run about right over to there, because we go into the swamp biome. So we're gonna go until we can't go in anymore, and then if that happens, I'm gonna leave the framework here and deal with it later. Because yes, I can technically angle it, but then we get into trying to keep everything as smooth as possible, and it's just a huge pain. So we're just gonna do this for now and hope we don't start taking damage. Because I think it can go way out here, because right at that plateau is kind of where we start going west. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna record this one because I'm not sure how far we can go. The map does kick out at some point, and if we can have all this is insane space. And there's water all underneath us, so that makes it even better for other things. But I think we're gonna hit the edge here soon, so we'll see. And I might have to restock on supplies as well. I have no idea what's gonna happen. We might even be able to just go straight across. I've never built this far out. So this is an exploration for me and everybody else. Now, will I actually go this far? Probably not. Because I can shorten this by quite a big amount. However, that's the end right there, so that makes sense. Because the swamp, we're about halfway through the swamp, so yeah. It's eventually going to stop. I just don't know where. But we're going to go until we can't. One of two things is going to happen. We're either going to glitch through the world and die, or we're going to start getting tick damage, because technically we're outside the...
Fix-It property is not allowed to leave Fix-It designated work areas. Function outside this area is not supported.
Right as I was saying it. So where does that start exactly? Right there. Okay, I'm sorry. So that is as far as we can go, and I don't think I can make anything other than a wall. Because I have no pipes, I've just got concrete and plates. So we're gonna do this. Vertical, there we go. Back to... Wait, what? Oh, back to soup. I was like, why isn't it working? So yeah, that's where we start dying. So I'm going to definitely shorten this. It's my idea for doing a giant train track around the entire map is for ease of access. You can get everywhere quicker. And once you have a giant like loop, or a square, I guess, you can start spreading off to the center or to other parts of the map. So rather than going center out, we're going out. We're doing outside to the in. Is pretty much what we're going with. And now that I think about it, that's where we died there. However, I think once we get over to there, we can kind of go back over. So yeah. This is a pain for me later to fix all this. For everybody else, it's quick and easy. They're gonna be like, "Oh my god, you made that so quick." No, this took hours because I had to go back and, you know, dismantle everything without falling to my death and everything in between. So we don't have anything to do any of the hard drives unless we get lucky and literally need like concrete or plates, which I don't remember if there's any like that. But this is roughly where we probably should start going back that way. We don't need to go way over there. There's nothing over in that corner. I just happen to be over there because that's where the tail end of the desert is, essentially. So we're gonna keep going because there's no point to really go this way and then that. So let's go this way a little bit and see how far we get in. Because I try and find the gaps between these plateaus and mountains so that way we don't have to like build up and over and go down. It's just try and keep everything as level as possible, which last time I think I did in my other playthrough, I went through over there, I believe. But I also did not follow true northwest, south, and east. I was more like kind of like this way. I was in between like south and west and north and all that. So nothing actually went proper. Actually, you know what? Let's start right here. Let's see what happens. Because as the playthrough goes on, everybody's going to see how much things change and where I start building things. at different areas, because there is potential in the swamp. It's dangerous, but there's potential. Okay, this is going to become the problem. A difference at this point. It's great for the desert. We're above everything pretty much, except here. So I have no idea what I'm going to do here. We're going to leave that there. Do I have my weapons? I do. Do I want to get the purple fire slug? I mean, we should. I mean, we're here, right? So, see if we can do it sneakily enough anyway. Is he a radioactive one? I don't think he is. Come on, guys. Chase me. Goodbye. Ow, he threw something at me. Goodbye. Oh, he's smart. Run towards me before your friends show up. Ow. You're not supposed to hit me. Goodbye. There we go. And peaceful. For about 2 minutes until they respawn. Perfect. Because unfortunately, they do not die when they fly down that far. They just kind of come back, unfortunately. So let's see. So west is this way. I think we're going to have to build up a little bit, unfortunately. Either I'm going to have to find a way to do the train diagonally through here, which is possible, but it's just kind of a pain. So let's try that. There is a way around visual takes, because when I say, like, you can do, like, vertically, this is what I mean. So, yeah, you can do this, and then build. You gotta get it kind of right sometimes. It's kind of glitchy. Okay, let's go like this. Can we go this way? No. It's just gonna keep doing this to me. Anyway, as you can tell, it overlaps and it looks horrid. But there are ways around it by using, like, the concrete finishes. Doesn't show up as bad, but it's just it's a pain. So I'm gonna attempt to go straight through. It looks like maybe back here. How's this one look? This one looks better. What about this one? Ah, got it. See, the angles are so weird. So if we go, let's go this way. There is a way to actually match it up, which is nice, but it takes effort, and I'm for putting in the effort. But yeah, it won't be something I do on camera. It'll be something we do off camera. You almost have to basically get the same amount going one way as the other. But I believe if we start going this way, we shouldn't run into anything. Let's go 2 more out to avoid that plateau right there. And this should be good. Okay. Oh yeah, now I can go backwards. I see what it is. Yeah. I'm going to do this for a bit, and we'll be back when I run into another issue, so bear with me. So as we're building across the plains, we're finding more and more difficult ways that we can go. Like right here, for instance. I had it perfectly in line, and then we had to find this. Nice pure coal node. And guess what? We can't go straight through it because, well, we're going to be impacting the ability to place a miner there. Also, I did go that way. However, then I realized it's just one big open space to the left, because we come here and there's a giant crater that we're going to build across anyway, because it goes farther over to that way than it does way over there. That kind of brings us into a forest, whereas this one kind of brings us into the plains. So we're going to continue to go straight, just because this is pretty much the edge of the map on this side anyway. As you can see, that little power slug just kind of off in the corner there, right above the hammer. Literally right there. He's just floating there. He's far enough down, that way it looks like he's just floating in nothingness. It's the abyss to him. And I did stop and get another power slug that was purple, however I almost died because it was radioactive and poisonous. So that was fun. So yeah, we're going to continue. And yes, I am going to build painstakingly build supports. That way it doesn't make it look like everything is just kind of floating. I think we should be good to start going back this way now. Yeah, we'll just start going this way. I hate doing it like that, but I mean, it's kind of the only way you can do it. But we'll come back and try and make everything as smooth as possible, but for what it is, technically right now, this is the same height as what we have in the desert. Nothing's changed. We haven't gone up or down. We're literally the same height, so, and we're in the same direction. So if we were to build in the plateau over here or in the prairie, so to speak, it'll be on the same level as what we have back at base, which is actually nice. And I kind of want to stop myself from going up or down. I want to try and keep everything as flat as humanly possible. Just for the ease, like I said before. Just makes everything so much more simpler. Do I want to attempt to get him? That is a lot of dust down. Oh, no, there's a spider. Oh, ain't doing it. Can't force me. Is he gonna jump up here? He didn't see me, did he? No, he's too enthralled being in that green smoke right now, so we're gonna let him be. Yeah, as you can tell, we can go more left, but I mean, it's a train station. I'll bring what I need to the train station. So hopefully by the end of this episode, because there's going to be a couple cuts here and there, so I'm going to try my best to encircle the map and then potentially start a train station or system going. But who knows at this point? Right now, we're literally just building across the map to get across the map. So this is the... Well, we're getting close to the starting area, I guess. Yeah, this is kind of where the first map is, where it tells you this is where you should be. Because it's the easiest. As you can tell, it is mainly flat. There's a lot of foliage around, and there are nodes. So it definitely does benefit starting here. This is the painstaking part. Doing this, and then when I run out, then I gotta run all the way back. That's the fun part. I'd say we're about halfway to where we were, because we start way over there. We're still going. But yeah, you can see it's flat. It's nice. It's a nice area to start out in. Wow, I'm actually higher than the flying... I don't even know what the hell that is. A flying stingray, I guess? I'm at a loss for words. I've never really been this close to them. Usually they're above me, I'm not above them. But yeah, I think this is the first starting area is right here. Pretty sure, because over there is not really accessible. You can get there in certain parts, but then you'll start getting tick damage and dying. Boy, it's gonna be fun trying to get stuff up here. Whew. I think this is higher than the desert itself. But we're gonna keep going. We haven't even made it halfway yet. We're getting there. So I'm pretty sure that right in front of us, right there is a hard drive and I believe quartz. And I think Catrium is over in this direction. There's a bunch of stuff around here. It is a nice starting spot. Just not for me. It's going to be excellent for like the pillars and whatnot. Nope, there's Catrium. They changed it. Thought it was over on the left. I will. We'll probably go as far as this crash site and then start going that way, because now we're getting into more oil sands. And that should be good enough. Now let's go like 4 or 5 more. That's better. Okay, now the fun part. I want to do more of an angle. Maybe we should start way back here. Maybe under the Catrium. A little far. I kind of want to aim for that arch is what I'm kind of anticipating. That should be good. Okay. We'll leave that as is, and then we'll go this way. And there are easier ways, I'm sure, of making foundations and building across open spaces. But I just tend to use whatever metrics it gives me. So if it tells me I can go this way, because technically you can go whatever way you want. You can angle this like 16 different ways, I think, or something like that. So I stick to the west, northwest, all that. Keeps everything in line, kind of. Because we're literally in between right now, west and north, so it's dead center pretty much. Or as close to dead center as it could possibly be. However, I'm going to build over this way and see what kind of trouble we get into, and then we'll be back at her. So as we continue to build over the ocean and the other desert here, this is the second starting area. I believe it's the second one. Once again, very kind of vast and open, however, a lot of pillars and plateaus. Not a lot of water. When you come to like the left here, it's not a bad starting area. It's definitely doable. I have a couple friends playing right now that started off in this area. It's actually really nice. And there is foliage around, so you can actually have power if you need it to break everything down. However, the biggest thing is just the water issue, because if you start like way kind of like right in there, you get little streams, but sometimes the extractors don't like streams. They have to be in deeper water, so it's just more difficult. I mean, technically the desert is the most difficult because there's barely any water around unless you travel. We're heading right for that plateau. Thankfully, we're going to turn right, though, I think. Because like I said, we're not sticking to the like extreme ends of the map. We're kind of just going where we're going to be covering mostly everything. Because at certain points I am going to need more factories at a distance. Just because the resources are going to start getting tied up in other things. Which is fine by all aspects, I guess, but it is also nice to utilize the map. Because that's what it's there for. How are we going to do this now? Should I go straight through? Can we go straight through? Yeah, let's go this way. Kind of bringing back memories of doing this last time on my last map, and I just ran into so many issues. I haven't run into any issues yet, other than having to come backwards, I guess. But I have to go back and delete that long stretch I made, kind of going over the plains. That goes into the forest, so to speak. Do I want to go around, or do I want to go through? That's the question. What's it look like here? We're probably going to hit that plateau. Come on, work with me. That should... Let's go this way. We'll just see what happens. So far, nothing's been in my way, and that's kind of a good thing. These trees, they can be removed. The rocks, not so much. Oh, that's going to be a problem. We're just going to go straight over you. Quickly. Quickly. I don't want to get chased by flying crabs. Actually, I think it's the first time we've run into trees other than when I was doing it over there. So we're on a good pace. And we're actually going straight back towards the space station, which there is more that way. However, I think this might be the best choice. Because whereas we are in the desert, that section's not that too far from it, so I think that's a win. However, we can't go through mountains. So we might have to pivot left or right here. This is where it's going to get tricky. Because we're heading right straight for that plateau right in front of us. I think we're above it by a little bit. But then we're going to run into other mountains as well. let's go. And the cool thing about train tracks and the train stations is once you have a track down connected to every part possible, I can literally have a train station way over there, have a power pole going down, and power everything on this side. It's all universal for some reason. You don't have to run a power line all the way around to connect to the train station. The train station acts as a conduit, so that way you can take a power line off the train station, put it on the ground, and then utilize power from there, and it transfers. It's fantastic. Unless they changed it, I'm not sure. But the last playthrough I was doing, you could do that, which is actually kind of a really awesome concept. Whoa, 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 whoa. How did I fly off that far? Oh, that was not good. That was not good at all. Now we're good on fuel anyway. I think I might have made it almost perfect. Because in theory, we should be quite close to the oil sands, which we haven't adjusted height, so we should connect right back to it. And we're literally running out of plates anyway. This is where it's going to get tricky, these little arches. This might get a little funky. So that might be something I have to fix later. But for right now, we're going to go straight through. This is just the foundation build. Train should technically glide under there. It won't stop, it won't glitch, or it'll glitch through basically, but it just kind of looks funky. This, however, yeah, we might have to make it ramp up and over just because, yeah, it'll go through, but it'll look kind of stupid and silly. And for this game, I like to try and keep everything as realistic as possible as I'm floating in the air, making foundations and nothing's collapsing, so, you know. There's that. There's the oil sands over there. We might have to cut a corner here. We might have to aim for that plateau and then kind of go from there. We're gonna have to go diagonal for quite a bit, probably like 50 blocks, I'd say. Ooh, maybe not. Let's go this way a little bit more. So we'll do 10 that way. So that's 40 meters, and then do another like 50-ish. I don't know, it'd be 20, I guess. No, we're still good to go. How about now? Nope, still good to go. The angles on this are so weird. How about now? Nope, still going this way. Okay, we're not. Are we dead center? Okay, it looked like we were more going this way, but I guess it's because I'm facing that way. Never mind. Overthinking everything, as always. How close is that plateau going to be? We're going to drive into that. Okay, this is as far as we can go, I believe. Okay, this is as far as we can go. That plateau is literally, I can't go any farther. Literally. I'm stuck. We have to go this way now. Nope, I have to go here. How close is that going to be, I wonder? Ooh. I mean, I guess we could turn it again. Oh, let's try. See what happens. We're so close. Literally. I'm almost out of place. We had enough to go all the way around the map, pretty much. That's crazy. Oh, this is gonna suck. Maybe if I head back a little bit and come straight through, maybe? I don't know. That'll be an off-camera thing. I'm not gonna put everybody through that. We're literally gonna run out of plates anyway. Yeah, the perfect amount. And I mean, I guess I could gradually make the train kind of incline and decline like that. That's a very shallow, like, you know, It's a very shallow line going down, which is okay. I just don't like when it has to go like vertical up like 45 degrees. It just kind of looks silly. Really? Oh well. We made it back home. Quite literally. Well, there's that. Okay, well, I'm gonna take a second here. I'm gonna hopefully not run out of fuel, which I think I am. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go grab as much steel beams and pipes, I believe, as possible, and get what I need for a train station, and then we're gonna kind of go that way. And I'm gonna half build and half show what I'm doing. I'm not gonna do everything, because once again, I don't like doing that on camera. That's boring. Even doing this is kind of boring right now, because we're really not working on anything. We're more working on logistics of how to get to A to B to D to Z to A2 and A5, basically. So we're just making train tracks, which is not the funnest. However, I'm gonna go see what I can dump off, because literally we have nothing left in our inventory, and grab what I can, and we'll be back laying some track. And just a random fact, as I'm gliding and driving the truck back to where we're going, you can actually see my cat just right behind me if I move. So if you've seen moving as I've been recording this, that's why. She has a nice comfy spot behind me, so yeah. Let's drive, lay some track, and let's get right back to it. Talk about a tight squeeze. So besides the fact that I just laid track on the area that I said I wasn't going to, I found another thing that I will mention that is actually a really nice thing to know, especially if you're working with foundations and you want to have a perfect curvature. The best thing I suggest is you stop it wherever you need to. So I'm stopping right at the gradients here, not at the split, but the gradients. And then you count exactly how many it is away, so 3. Minus the middle one that you're going with. Then you go 3 again, and then you go right back to the gradient, not the middle, not the split, but right to the gradient, and then you connect it on both ends, and that pretty much gives you the perfect curve that you need. If not, it's going to be way off. So if I technically did it, let's say here, and then connected it, it's going to be weird. So let's see if I can actually do it. Let's put it right here, and then we connect here. See, it won't do it, because technically the curve's off. So what I found playing this game through literally thousands of hours and hundreds of hours of playing with train tracks is the best way to utilize it is to keep the distances the same.
Fixed property is not allowed to leave fixed designated work areas. Function outside this area is not supported.
Sorry, I did an accident. It won't happen again. Anyway, as we try not die again. But yeah, keep everything as straight as possible. Stop it wherever you need to, and then start it wherever it needs to go, basically. If you're on the desert floor or on the floor itself, it's a little bit more trickier, because with the foundations, it allows you to have precise accuracy. If you're doing it on the ground floor, it's going to be off probably, or you can get it as close as possible. But yeah, no, nice little tip and trick to do that. I am probably going to change this because, like I said, we were technically going to go way over there and come through, but we're here right now, so we're going to continue. So, yeah, let's continue. Now, as we continue to build, as I said a few minutes ago about literally leaving free, try and keep it consistent if you want. I know I do. So I know technically coming to here, it's probably just a waste of track. However, I'm going to kind of push back a little bit. Normally I go about 8, so you can see it's 8 of it's right there. I can go a little farther, but there's no point. So I'm going to break this down, probably down to about 7. And then we're going to go to about 3 away as usual from what we did last time. So we're about there. Now what you need to do with this one's tricky. Doing the other side is tricky because you got to kind of get it perfect. So make sure you rotate it where you need to try and get it in the middle. Because once you actually, unless you can get it perfectly each time, it's always going to be off. So lately, on the first set of track I was doing before we had to do the turn, I was getting right about to here. Obviously now it's too long, so I got to go back and then connect it to there. So it's always going to be off a little bit. But as long as it's in the exact same spot, Get away. I need to see. Come on. So yeah, as you can see, right on the gradient, or the grate, I guess. It's kind of a grate to me just because they're slits, so to me it's a grate. Whatever else you want to call it, I have no idea. Still one away from the median, or the middle. Yeah, we're just going to do this again, and boom, there we go. Once again, curvature. As perfect as it can get anyway. And the cool thing about this is when I actually run the track this way, we can do this. So I'm just going to put this here just as a show and tell. Hopefully it's straight on, because sometimes they curve. Yeah, and then you can can't do it that way, but you can split it through the center, which I don't do because it looks weird. Let's see if I can show it right now. Let's just go this way. So I don't care if it's curved or anything, but yeah, no, it just looks weird. It's a cross section. Literally, it doesn't interfere with the track at all. A regular train, this would derail. Once it even hits, like, here, even before, it's going to derail. So yeah, no, I don't recommend doing it. Nothing happens, as far as I know. But yeah, try and keep it as straight as possible. If you want to do that, just kind of do this. I should have the alignment almost perfect-ish. Oh wait, I need to go this way a little bit. It's 2, and then 3, and then we'll do 4 for good measure. So we have to start from... we should be able to do it from here. Should be able to. We need to be 3 away. That should work, I hope. Perfect. So there, now you got a turnable track there. And then if we wanted to do it as well on this side, we just gotta go... let's do it right there again. Like I said, you can do the T section. I don't. I just think it kind of looks silly. So we're gonna go from here. Hopefully this works. It should. I think. It shouldn't connect to that. It should connect to this. And then this should connect to this. There we go. And then theoretically, I need one more. Okay. I should have technically gone one further anyway, I guess. But yeah, so there's that. So I should be able to delete this without any repercussions. Okay, so it still works. So there. Now we have a 4-way. So it can go left. It can't go right. Or no, yeah, it can go right. Sorry. It can go right, left, down the center. And then if we wanted to, we could roundabout it again and again and again and again and just make sure that it has a way to turn every which way rather than going straight through. Like I said, nothing happens. It just looks silly. It just looks like your train should derail. And hell, maybe it does. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think I've done it. So if it derails, it derails. If it doesn't, well, then it just looks weird. Anyway, back to land the track. Technically, I've already shown it for wider gaps. However, this one, whereas it kind of turns, I don't even know, would it be like a 45-degree angle? Because technically we're going straight and then turning a little bit. Not sure the angle or degree, don't care. But slightly a little different. So this one I gave it a 1 gap. So middle piece, technically the intersection, so to speak, and then a 1 gap and a 1 gap. And then just kind of connect. And I had it a second ago. There we go. So same thing, technically. It's not as sharp of a curve, but it lines up perfectly and just kind of goes around. Unfortunately, doesn't quite follow center mass, but that's okay. Anyway, another way to deal with it, whether you're actually doing like a 90-degree turn or a 45-degree turn or like a 30 or 20 or whatever degree you have, just always space it. Once again, if you're using foundations. If you're not using foundations, it's a little trickier. If you're using foundations, you can be very precise. But yeah, that's for that. Back to track laying. Okay, and as we're at another intersection, technically, where it's turning, because we're not going this way, we're going to the left a little bit, but yeah. It's a weirder curvature. It's not quite a 90-degree turn, because we're going up 3 over 2 and then down 3. I think I think I did it wrong. It's 1, 2, 3, center, center, and then 1, 2, 3. So theoretically, the center's right here, ish. So we're just going to put that there. It's not a complete science. Doesn't have to be perfect, however. It is going to kind of go in curve. So, trying to keep it as straight as possible. Kind of hard when there's a giant freaking mountain in my way. So, and I don't want to go back this way and deal with it. Like I said, it'll probably change in the future, but for right now, consistency of keeping everything spaced as accordingly as possible is nice. Now I'm going to run through some radiation, so I'm going to try and survive, and I'll be back. Okay, I think it's a perfect time to lay down our first train station. So you actually have to build, I believe it's 5. I think you can get away with 3, but we're going to do 5. So 2 on each end plus the middle. It would be wide enough to accommodate this. Figure, you know what, we might as well just put it right at the kind of the starting location for the first one. I'm going to try and keep this as centered as possible. There we go. So train station's facing that way, which I believe it can only go one way. I think it might be able to go the other, but normally it only follows directional where it's going. So if you want to have it go the other way, I think you have to have one going this way, but don't quote me on that. They might work differently. Normally my train tracks only just kind of go in loop. I never have them go backwards. Actually, saying that, you can actually have it rotate back in, so maybe it doesn't really matter which way it's going, as long as it can go back in the direction that, you know, the sign's facing, I believe. So yeah, don't quote me on that one. Let's toss a few of these just because I think before the end of this episode I'm going to do something. I think I'm going to set up a power node station over here for coal power, because I believe there is coal around. So that should be that. About enough to be able to do 5 freight trains per location, so we might just put another one down just for the sake of doing so. There we go. So that's half and half. Perfect. Who needs hypertubes when you can build a train track? So unfortunately, this does not have power because it's not connected to a grid yet. So there is no power. Its max consumption is 300. It never really hits that, but we'll get to there when we get to there. So right now, I'm going to go back and continue to do this, which is taking forever. I'm going to lay this one down, and we'll be back at it again very shortly. Okay, so we have a slight problem with alignment. Unfortunately, it's off. Now, is it enough to bug me? Yes. Should it matter? No. It's all technically the same level. It technically does connect, so to speak. However, I'm going to fix it when I'm doing post. So when I'm editing this video and everything like that, I'm going to go back through and do everything all over again, because I think what happened, and I know what happened, is when you do this, it kind of messes with it. So unless you have it directly, I think, in the middle like that. Oh, go back. Come on, like that. Technically off. Technically, this is centered still. When you do it off by here, it's off-centered. Or, like, this one's off-centered, I believe. So I'm going to have to go and fix every corner, lay every bit of track again, rearrange everything, which is fine. Doable, because we're going to work backwards from here, because somewhere along the line when we turned, that's kind of where it messed up. However, I am going to continue to make the train. We're going to make it work, and we're going to showcase that it works, and then I'm going to show you that the power connects to it. And I'm also not going to put a power plant where I said it was. I'm going to do it near the oil sand, so that way we can get fuel going. So bear with me as we lay a bit more track, get a train going, and then go from there. Just to kind of showcase what I mean about getting the corners perfect. If you look closely, there's a curve. And it's not by accident, because at that junction right up there, I didn't care, because obviously I'm going to be redoing this. So I just kind of threw it down, but that's what happens when, if you don't have it like perfect, it kind of sways. Kind of. But it could also be this, but I did at least between what I needed to. So, but yeah, if you look closely, you can actually see a curvature, and then it is because of that corner. But yeah, stuff like that doesn't bug me too much. I'm going to change it, obviously, because then your train just kind of going to sink through it. But yeah, we're going to deal with that later. We got the train station down. I'm going to connect it. We're going to put a train on it, and then we're going to do a fuel station, or not a fuel station, a power station, and go from there. I'll be right back again. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go. We're going to fly on over to the oil sands. We're going to bypass the train station we put at the prairies of the fields, and we're going to put a power station down, or a train station down, and then make a power station. And then I get to go through painstakingly and figure out why nothing's connecting. That's going to be fun. This thing only goes 120, which is actually pretty fast, honestly. I shouldn't complain, so. But we're going to glide there, and we'll set up another power station and go from there. Be right back. Okay, the only downside to having it this high up is I had to make a second platform for the wire because, well, it can't reach that far. However, we have that set up. Very generic. We'll change later, probably. But right now, it needs 100 watts. Well, guess what? There's no power lines around, but this we can connect, because if you do this... If they change this, I'm going to be really sad, but I don't think they did. So we're going to take that, put that there. We're going to go over here. Because this basically just makes it so power is universal. Literally across the map, all you need is that, because if I click into this, it should show like 2,900, I think we have. Or the 3,000, sorry. So boom, there we go. Pop this right there, and all of a sudden, now this has power. What if I'll die if I don't hit the jetpack? I don't want to find out. The only downside of doing this way is I need the awesome sink in order to eat the resin, but that's fine. So I don't even know when this is going to kick in, because... Oh, right away. Perfect. So additional 250, it needs 20, obviously. This is producing 40, so we can up that right away. So that's the 30. Might as well pump it up all the way if we can. So we need 50. So we need one more of these. So we'll just do 51 just to be safe. Try that again. Do I not have numlock on? No, I do not. I did not have numlock on. So I need 76, it said? 76, 77? 76. I don't even know if this is a pure one or not. I didn't even look. Oh, it is pure. Perfect. So we need not that much. So we'll just pump out 80. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We're pumping out resin, which we will use this later, just not right now. There's no point to use it, so it's good just to have crushing in the awesome thing, so that way we can continuously get points. It's slow, but it works. So now we're making 3,700 out of 2,800. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to conclude the episode because I have to go and fix this entire foundation because, well, it's off-centered by, like, I don't even know, a quarter maybe of the foundation block, but we'll fix it. So for now, that's going to be it for me as I climb the ladder. If you're new to the channel, give it a like, give it a subscribe, make a comment, let me know you're enjoying the content because I'm enjoying creating it as always. But for now, stay cool, stay frosty. I'll see everybody in episode 12 after I edit this one. Take care for now. See you later.